Let's talk about something truly monumental, soda. Not just any soda, but the fizzy, sugary icon that's been a part of American life for over a century. Coca-Cola. It's more than a drink, it's a symbol, a memory, a taste of childhood summers and family gatherings. For many, the sound of a Coke bottle opening is the soundtrack to American nostalgia. But this week, soda became something else entirely, a political flashpoint, thanks to a bombshell announcement from Donald J. Trump. In a world where every tweet can set off a firestorm, this one was about to make waves. On a quiet Tuesday, Trump posted, "Big news! Just got off the phone with Coca-Cola. They're bringing back real sugar to Coke in America. No more corn syrup." The internet exploded. Within minutes, the tweet was trending worldwide, with millions of people sharing, liking, and arguing over what it all meant. Was this a return to tradition, or just another headline-grabbing move? News outlets scrambled to verify, was this real policy, a publicity stunt, or just another Trumpian fever dream? Reporters dialed Coca-Cola's PR team, analysts speculated on the implications, and social media lit up with memes and hot takes. The question on everyone's mind, could a single tweet really change what's inside America's most famous can? The post was classic Trump, short on details, high on nostalgia, and engineered to tap into a very American longing for the way things used to be. It conjured images of soda fountains, drive-in diners, and a simpler time when real sugar meant something special. For many, it was a trip down memory lane, a reminder of the Coke they grew up with. Suddenly, cable news anchors were debating soda ingredients instead of global politics. Nutritionists weighed in on the health effects of sugar versus corn syrup, while political commentators tried to decode the strategy behind the tweet. Was this a distraction from bigger issues, or a clever way to connect with everyday Americans? Coca-Cola's stock price twitched, unsure if this was good news or just weird. Investors wondered if a shift back to real sugar would boost sales or spark controversy. Wall Street analysts debated whether nostalgia could really move markets, or if this was just another blip in the 24-hour news cycle. The announcement hijacked the news cycle, blurring the line between presidential declarations and random beverage opinions. Suddenly, every major network was running with the story, and the debate spilled over from Twitter to living rooms and lunch tables across the country. Why did it resonate? Because it wasn't just about soda, it was about America's nostalgia, health, and the eternal debate over what's real. For some, it was a stand against artificial ingredients and corporate shortcuts. For others, it was a symbol of the culture wars, where even your choice of soft drink says something about your values. For supporters, it was a win against corporate elites. They saw it as Trump standing up for the little guy, bringing back a taste of the past and sticking it to big business. Rallies erupted with cheers, and Coke bottles became props in a new kind of political theater. For critics, a baffling distraction. They rolled their eyes, calling it a sideshow meant to divert attention from more pressing issues. Editorials questioned the wisdom of making soda a national talking point, while late-night comedians had a field day with the absurdity of it all. But for everyone, it was a reminder. In 2025, even your soda can is a political battleground. Every product, every brand, every choice is up for debate, and nothing is too small to escape the culture wars. The grocery store aisle has become a microcosm of America's divisions. The story touched on agriculture, health, and the power of nostalgia. It raised questions about where our food comes from, what we put in our bodies, and why we care so much about the past. It was about farmers in the Midwest, health advocates, and collectors of vintage Coke memorabilia, all suddenly part of the same conversation. Trump's post made one thing clear. In America, even a can of Coke can spark a national debate. It's a reminder that in the age of social media, the smallest things can become symbols, and the most ordinary moments can turn into headline news. And that's how a tweet about soda became headline news, proving once again that in today's America, nothing is too small, too sweet, or too fizzy to escape the spotlight. So, what's the fuss? Why do people get so worked up about what sweetens their soda? It might seem like a small detail, but for many, it's a surprisingly big deal. The sweetener in your drink is more than just a flavor, it's a symbol of tradition, economics, and even national identity. It's the battle of sweeteners, cane sugar versus high fructose corn syrup, or HFCS. These two have been locked in a quiet war for decades, each with its own loyal fans and passionate critics. Cane sugar, also known as sucrose, is the classic sweetener. It's made from sugar cane or sugar beets, and it's what gave old-school sodas their signature taste. Sucrose is actually two simple sugars, glucose and fructose bonded together. For many, it's the taste of childhood, of summer picnics, and of a time when things felt a little more authentic. Enter HFCS in the 1970s. Made from corn, this sweetener was a game changer. Thanks to government subsidies, corn was cheap and plentiful in the US, making HFCS a much more affordable option for food and beverage companies. Chemically, it's very similar to sucrose, but it's made by breaking down cornstarch into glucose, then converting some of that glucose into fructose. Coca-Cola and other soda giants switched to HFCS in the 1980s for one simple reason: cost. It was a business decision that saved millions of dollars, but it also changed the recipe of America's favorite drinks. Corn was cheap, sugar was expensive, the economics were impossible to ignore. This shift didn't just affect soda, it rippled through the entire food industry, from snacks to salad dressings. The move fueled a corn boom in the Midwest, transforming the landscape and the livelihoods of countless farmers. Suddenly, corn wasn't just for livestock, it was a key ingredient in the American diet. On a molecular level, both sweeteners are nearly identical, just glucose and fructose, arranged in slightly different ways. To your body, they're processed in almost the same way, and most people can't taste the difference in a blind test. But cane sugar carries nostalgia and a sense of authenticity. It's the sweetener of old-fashioned soda fountains and glass bottles. HFCS, on the other hand, is often seen as a cost-cutting industrial product, something less pure, less special. That's the heart of the debate: old-world authenticity versus new-world efficiency. Is it better to stick with tradition or embrace progress and affordability? For decades, foodies, soda enthusiasts, and health experts have argued over which is better. Some claim cane sugar tastes cleaner or more natural, while others say there's no real difference. The science says the difference is subtle, if it exists at all. The real divide is emotional, not chemical. It's about memories, marketing, and what we want our food to represent. The switch to HFCS was about economics, not taste or health. It was a business move, plain and simple, but it changed the way we think about sweetness. Now the debate is back in the spotlight, thanks to one viral post that reignited old arguments and sparked new questions. It's not just about sweetness, it's about what we value in our food. Is it nostalgia, purity, price, or convenience? And suddenly the sweetener in your soda is a national issue, with everyone from scientists to social media influencers weighing in. Welcome to the Sugar Wars, a battle that's about much more than just what's in your glass. Is cane sugar actually healthier than HFCS? Most experts say, not really. Both are added sugars, both contribute to obesity and chronic disease, and both are overconsumed. The real problem isn't the type, it's the quantity. Swapping HFCS for cane sugar won't save your health. In the end, sugar is sugar. The Titanic is still heading for the iceberg. Beyond science and politics, nostalgia drives this debate. For many, cane sugar Coke is a taste of childhood, a sacred memory. This has spawned a subculture. Fans hunt for Mexican Coke, made with cane sugar, and Passover Coke, with yellow caps, paying extra for the real thing. The annual search for authentic Coke is a ritual for purists. Trump's announcement taps into this longing for authenticity. For these fans, it's not about chemistry, it's about restoring a lost piece of Americana. Changing the sweetener is about reclaiming a taste of the past. If Coke really switched to cane sugar, the economic shockwaves would be huge. This isn't just a simple recipe change, it's a move that would send ripples through the entire American food system, affecting everything from agriculture to international trade. The impact would be felt far beyond the soda aisle, touching the lives of farmers, factory workers, and everyday consumers alike. Corn farmers, long supported by subsidies, would take a hit as demand for HFCS plummeted. For decades, high fructose corn syrup has been a lifeline for American corn growers, propping up rural economies and shaping the landscape of the Midwest. Suddenly, with Coke's switch, a major market for their crop would vanish almost overnight, leaving many to wonder how they'd adapt. Farming communities in the Midwest could face hardship. Ironically, many are Trump's political base. These small towns, already struggling with population decline and economic uncertainty, might see even more challenges as local businesses and families feel the pinch. The political implications could be significant as leaders scramble to respond to the fallout. Meanwhile, sugar producers would hit the jackpot, but the U.S. doesn't grow enough sugar to meet demand. Domestic sugarcane and sugar beet farms would see a surge in business, but scaling up production isn't easy. It takes time, investment, and favorable weather, none of which are guaranteed. This raises thorny questions about tariffs and imports. Would the US open up to foreign sugar or keep prices high? Current trade policies protect domestic producers but make imported sugar expensive. Lawmakers would face tough choices: lower tariffs to keep prices down for consumers, or maintain protections for American farmers, and risk higher costs at the checkout. For consumers, real sugar Coke would cost more, maybe 50 cents extra per can. Would nostalgia outweigh price? Some might relish the taste of the real thing, but for families on a budget, that extra cost adds up quickly. The decision could split shoppers, with some sticking to the classic formula and others seeking cheaper alternatives. Some pay more for Mexican Coke, but would the average shopper? While a niche group of enthusiasts already seek out imported cane sugar sodas, it's unclear if the broader public would follow suit if prices rise across the board. The answer could reshape the entire soft drink market. The market would decide if real sugar is worth the premium. Would a wave of nostalgia drive sales, or would sticker shock send customers looking for alternatives? The outcome would be a fascinating experiment in consumer behavior and brand loyalty. Coca-Cola's stock would become a daily referendum on nostalgia versus cost. Investors would watch closely, reacting to every shift in sales and sentiment, as Wall Street tries to predict whether the gamble pays off or backfires. The ripple effects would reach from farms to grocery aisles. Every link in the supply chain, from the people who grow the crops to the truckers who deliver the goods, would feel the impact of this single, dramatic change, all from a single tweet. In today's world, even a 280-character message can set off a chain reaction that transforms industries and communities overnight. How did Coke respond? With classic corporate vagueness. Their statement thanked Trump for his interest, promised choice, and said nothing concrete. No confirmation, no denial, just buying time. Publicly contradicting Trump is risky, but overhauling production on a whim is riskier, so Coke waits to see which way the wind blows. Pepsi's response? Even more muted. They pointed to their own real sugar products and stayed out of the fray. Pepsi can watch and wait. If Coke switches and prices rise, Pepsi could steal market share. If not, they can mock Coke for ignoring the people. Both companies are running polls, watching trends, and gaming out every scenario. All because of one unpredictable tweet. What's next? Don't expect a nationwide switch overnight. More likely, Coke will launch a premium made with real cane sugar version alongside the HFCS classic. This lets them test if people will pay more for nostalgia. If the cane sugar version sells, it could spark a broader shift, maybe even a two-tiered soda market. Pepsi and others would follow if it works. Trump's announcement, real or not, has reignited the sweetener debate and could push the industry to rethink ingredients. It also spotlights farm subsidies and trade policies that shape what's in our food. The future of your soda is now tied to politics, economics, and consumer choice. All from a can that costs $1. Sometimes the smallest things spark the biggest changes. So here we are at the bottom of the can. A single post has sparked a national debate about health, nostalgia, and economics. Now it's up to you, the consumer. Will you pay more for real sugar, or stick with the familiar? Your choices will shape the industry's future. This is about more than soda. It's about what we value in our food. Next time you grab a drink, think about the journey it took to get to you. Even a simple soda is now a statement. So, is this Trump-Coke saga just a distraction or a turning point? On one hand, swapping sugars won't fix America's health crisis. It's a simple solution to a complex problem. But the announcement has forced a national conversation about what's in our food and why. It's made people question subsidies, trade, and the real cost of nostalgia. The real legacy may be a new level of consumer awareness. We're reminded that every product has a story and a political context. Whether stunt or sincere, this has shaken up the status quo. Sometimes a little fizz is all it takes to get us thinking.